and just hangs this one up. And of course, if Damian Moore wasn't hanging in the middle, it might have been a good play. As it turns out, it looks like a mirror of the first half when Donovan McNabb threw the interception early. Now, can the Bucs defense step up and make a play?
Staley is the tailback, McNabb to throw. Wide open, Lewis. Chad Lewis inside the Tampa 30.
I'm going to tell you something. Joe said something in the first half, and it's absolutely true. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't start bringing the linebacker and or safety and or corner, they're not going to get to McNabb. But when he steps up, look at this throw. Lewis is wide open in the middle of the field.
Tampa Bay likes to play a cover two. Corners up, safeties back, covering the halves. The middle of the football field is where Donovan McNabb is going to find Chad Lewis.
Gain of 33 for Lewis. He's caught 4 for 60 yards. Buckhalter. Excellent play by Shelton Quarles, dragging him down behind the line of scrimmage. The Eagle leaders, as you might expect, Donovan McNabb at the forefront. 104 yards on 7 out of 14. Staley only 20 yards. Lewis 27 in the first half, but added a 33-yarder to that here early in the third quarter.
But I don't think there's either one of these football teams that are going to be able to run the ball wide. If you're going to run the ball at all, if you are, it's got to be between the tackles.
McNabb changes the play. 4-man rush. Staley trying to get outside Lynch. Flying up from outside, sacked from inside.
That was a really nice job by Simeon Rice. He's not going to get credit for a tackle. He's not even going to get an assist. But because he occupies the proper zone, watch this. He comes up. Now he goes back inside of Lewis, which forces Buckhalter outside and allows Lynch to make the tackle. That's what it talks about when you say playing the defense.
Last 3 Eagle runs have all been stopped in the backfield. Now 3rd and long, Bucs show blitz. They back out of it, rush only 3. McNabb under pressure. Buying more time. Trying to get away from White, and White pushed him out of bounds. Excellent job by Steve White against the much quicker quarterback.
Well, Donovan McNabb again. I mean, talk about awareness on the field, but he also was aware of defense. He knew that there was only a 3-man rush. He knew that he had plenty of time to move himself around in the pocket. Unfortunately, he couldn't get anybody open.
It was a brilliant defensive stand by Tampa Bay because it takes the Eagles out of field goal territory.
Now, here's what I'm talking about McNabb. Now watch him. He knows there's only a 3-man rush. So he can buy all the time he wants. For White, I mean, he just does an outstanding job. Steve White does a great job.
In other ball games, Andy Reid might consider trying a 53, 54-yard field goal. Not when your defense is doing what they're doing. He's going to punt this back and try and back the Bucs up.
Landetta. Short, fair catch made at the 15, barely by Stecker. 21-yard, or Carl Williams check it. Tampa Bay takes over at the 15. The turnover didn't hurt them. Next, right here on ABC. Mike Allstott thunders out to the 19-yard line. Last week, the Jets came away from Oakland with an enormous win on the strength of special teams. They beat the Raiders for the first time in Oakland since '62 to advance to the playoffs. John Hall with a clutch 53-yarder with less than a minute to go gave New York a 24-22 win. Moore and Yoder in a double tight end set. Allstott tries to get outside, no luck. Boy, Richard Cook, the safety, just came up and wouldn't let him go.
But that's a nice job by the interior guys. Paul Grass-Manis, Corey Simon, Jeremiah Trotter. Watch the inside. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to go. Hugh Douglas, force him to the outside.
Watch what happens to him, Allstott, when he gets his shoulders turned. See his shoulders turn? When they're turned sideways, he really has no power and absolutely no place to go.
3rd and 8. Johnson with a pump fake, pumps again, throws incomplete. They had Keyshawn underneath, but Bobby Taylor was with him stride for stride.
And that's gotten a little personal because Keyshawn Johnson in an article talked about the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, and he basically said, hey, they're really good. He said if they do have a weak link, it could be Bobby Taylor. And I can tell you, Bobby Taylor has played not like any weak link. He is not the weakest link.
Royals to kick to Mitchell. The Eagles winning the battle of field position as well as the one on the scoreboard. And that'll be down by the Bucs. Mitchell never had a chance to get his hands on it. 45-yard kick, and Dwight Smith downfield with an excellent play on special teams. The Eagles defense carrying the day so far. Allstott, Dunn, and Johnson have been held to 3 field goals. Philadelphia, the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. The Constitutional Convention took place in 1787, where they wrote the U.S. Constitution, also known as the City of Brotherly Love, unless there's a football game or a hockey game or a baseball game or an Easter egg hunt.
The Rangers found out today that the Flyers are not very hospitable.
It gets a little nasty when there's competition. McNabb straight back, takes off. Now throws in just off the fingertips of Thrash.
There's a name we haven't even mentioned tonight. Thrash.
Joe, I actually think Donovan McNabb is more dangerous as a runner outside the pocket than he is a passer. His percentage outside the pocket isn't very good.
I agree, but what happens when you get outside the pocket, for him it's like throwing deep balls. You look at teams that throw 6 deep balls, if they only hit 2, that's fine, so the percentage isn't very high. But out of the pocket, he's got just as many touchdowns as he has in the pocket.
Straight back to throw, dumps this one to Buckhalter. Buckhalter fights his way to the 48. Let's go to Susan. She has a special guest.
Well, Mike, just across the street today, an NHL battle in the top 2 teams in the Atlantic Division. Jeremy Roenick, center for the Flyers on the winning end, 4-2 over the Rangers. So did Eric Lindros make it through the game?
It was unbelievable. I am emotionally, physically, and now I can't even hear myself talking here. It's been an exciting game, an exciting day in Philadelphia, and it was a big return for Eric Lindros, and the fans really showed what they thought of him today. It was good and bad all the way around.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Right.
You went across the street looking for the doubleheader here in Philly.
Thanks, Susan.
Thrash on the toss on 3rd and 2. He needed to reach midfield and maybe just shy, watching the official across the way.
See, I love that call by Andy Reid, and the reason why is there are key players that you have to keep involved in the game. And we saw Keyshawn Johnson go through the whole first half, hardly touch the ball. Guys have a tendency to fall asleep. In this case, you put James Thrash in the backfield, and he's a threat to come out of there and catch the football, but also an excellent runner. So you find ways for your stars to get their hands on the ball.
I would throw if this isn't a first down, I would throw the flag out there and have him mark this ball again, because Thrash was across the 50-yard line, and this ball is not even near it.
Did he make it? There you go. Second chance, Paul.
No. Yes, he did. But I'm telling you, if you look at that
covered them
play,
all there, didn't you?
But if you look at the play where the ball is, I know it's where your knees are down where the ball is, but Thrash was actually across the 50. It makes no difference now.
But I like that. You answered yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, no, maybe.
You think they made it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No.
Well, no, not really.
No.
It is a first down.
Staley and Martin are the backs. McNabb to a wide-open Thrash to the 29.
You know what? It's not amazing, but a little bit when you think about it, what play action does to Tampa Bay. When Donovan McNabb runs a play-action pass, that defensive line is almost frozen. Look at the guys in white. They're right at the line of scrimmage. Look at the time McNabb has to throw the ball to Thrash. and a perfect throw.
And also what it does, when you run play action, it does not allow the linebackers to get out underneath any outside routes. So Thrash has the opportunity to work against Kelly just one-on-one.
Donovan McNabb has thrown for 166 yards and 2 scores in this game. Comes up firing here. Thrash, who had a breakout year with the Redskins last year and came over as a free agent. He has really made a difference, hasn't he, Susan?
Oh, he certainly has. 833 receiving yards. The only other player who switched teams as a free agent in the offseason to have that many receiving yards, Jerry Rice. He never expected to have this kind of an impact here with the Eagles. As soon as he showed up, though, Andy Reid said, "You are our starter." John Lynch, who roomed with Brad Johnson on the road, said Johnson thinks so highly of him. He lobbied to have him on Tampa Bay. You cannot underestimate him and his big play potential.
They would love to have him and his speed. Here's Buckhalter. Straight up the middle. Buckhalter, touchdown! And the Eagles, who did not score a rushing touchdown in their last 8 games of the regular season, get one when it matters most.
Good, solid running. That's what you get out of a Nebraska back. Break a tackle. Get in the end zone.
Well, the other thing, too, as we talked about earlier, the only place to run, if you're going to run, is between the tackles. Warren Sapp is spent. Warren Sapp is so disappointed because they've been playing pretty well up until that run.
Warren Sapp said in the preseason, if I don't get a championship out of this one, I'll quit and go home. He said he was still alive as of last week, but right now the Bucs are in a huge hole, down 24-9. It took the Eagles only 2:30 to go 60 yards for the touchdown. Buckhalter's got it on the 25-yard run. The Eagles have some breathing room, and the Bucs are in a terrible situation, down 24-9. Frank Murphy, deep to return for Tampa Bay. Turns the corner. Akers, the kicker, throws a body block and takes him down at the 41, and then whoops at him.
Hey, you're a Pro Bowler, why not?
Little emotion from the kickers. This top tourist attraction. The Eagles may be second. Allstott out in the flat from Johnson to the 47.
I'm going to take you back to the old TD here. What happens, very simple. That's Singleton, the linebacker. They're going to run a reverse. He's going to get caught outside, and you're going to see Buckhalter go right up inside, and John Lynch will not get over to make the tackle. He's fooled by the reverse. There goes Buckhalter up inside. Here's the hard running. Fights his way into the end zone.
It's a well-designed play.
Tampa Bay doesn't seem to have any.
If they have, they haven't shown them to us yet. Johnson short set, and this is a completion to Milton Wynn, who had 4 catches a week ago in that meaningless first meeting. It's all up to Brad Johnson now, Joe.
It is. Actually, you'd say that, but the truth of the matter is it's going to be up to his offensive line, because they're the ones that are going to have to create the throwing lanes to give him the opportunities. Brad's capable of doing it, but will they be able to protect him against this pressure defense?
Done. Only about a yard. Mike Caldwell hustling to make the tackle. The other thing about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is they don't have anyone really to complement Keyshawn Johnson. They still don't have anyone who can stretch the field that's reliable for them.
I think that they're very limited in the passing game, and that's the problem. They have no one. If the Eagles decide to press the wide receivers outside with Jacquez Green or Milton Wynn or Riddell Anthony, they are not physical enough to get away. Key is the only guy that can do that.
Blitz coming. They pick it up, and Johnson dumps it to Warwick Dunn, who dropped it. The way this team has been built, defense and rushing,